Hello, Steve. Hello, Joe. It's time to game classy.
Well, that was a fun little adventure I just had. Yeah, the stupid thing, stupid. It's stupid.
It's stupid.
Yeah, the stupid thing, stupid.
You know, you need it. You know what you need? You need to listen to Little Pure Moods. Calm yourself down. Sa di wa.
Is this because of the Illuminati thing that we were talking about?
Maybe.
Because isn't that like always the music that plays in the background of those conspiracy videos of like they show a picture of Hillary Clinton and they're like, look, her eyes just closed sideways.
I think there's a lot of people who both ironically and unironically use the X-Files theme when they do those videos. Yes.
Yeah, that's so my daughter, we tried watching some of the X-Files. We watched the first couple episodes and it was fine, but she just was always laughing at the opening because she knows it strictly from TikTok videos.
Yes.
She's like, oh, it's just like the TikTok videos. I'm like, no, this is the original song.
That's awesome.
Not really. That's not awesome. That's actually scary
awesome.
because TikTok is destroying our country alongside Twitter and Facebook. So
I mean, the battle against social media was lost a while ago, but yes.
I like how there's a case that's up in front of the Supreme Court right now about can you sue a social media company for hosting content that may have led to a terrorist attack, and everyone's like saying this could destroy the internet as we know it, and I'm like, good. There's literally only one good thing there's only one thing the internet is good for, and that's pornography, and I'm okay with that.
What about dank memes? The internet is definitely good for dank memes.
Yeah, but what is the percentage of regular memes to dank memes? I mean, it's got to be like a 0.005% for dank memes.
I don't know. I don't know if it's ever been measured. I don't think such a thing could ever been attempted.
You see, the reason is because you live in the dank meme realm. If you actually lived in the meme realm, you had to swim amongst all of the shitty memes that your family posts on Facebook that you've blocked. You wouldn't want to be part of it.
I see. No. I understand. You're saying I've done a like Buddhist thing where like I've ascended to the next plane, so I don't actually understand the previous plane anymore.
Yes, exactly. So you live in the plane that's underneath the realm of the minions.
I see.
Yeah. So
I understand.
So my child lives in the meme realm that's underneath us that you may have an idea that it exists, but you can't actually participate in that meme world because it's so outside your purview. You can't think to the level of
it's so alien to me.
Yeah, it's alien. It's perfectly alien. It's so beautiful. They should have sent a poet. My daughter will like have a meme and it'll be a very long shoe and it'll just say like shoe,
and I will erupt in hysterics.
Yes, exactly. Like there would be, my daughter would have a like their meme would just be two people looking at each other and underneath it would say like Shazoo, and that's their level of memeing at this point.
It's true. Yeah, I guess there's the Gen Z thing too, where it's for real, bussin'.
Yeah,
okay.
Not quite, yeah, no, that's up in the minion realm.
I see.
Yeah, that's not real memeing. That's like what the internet is telling them is memeing.
Or is it ironic memeing that has circled all the way back around to become intentional memeing?
Listen, I'm 42 years old. I can't keep up with this bullshit anymore. I'm done with it. I'm done with it all. I'm going to sit in my corner and listen to audiobooks of terrible sci-fi and fantasy and paint models. That's what I'm going to do with the rest of my life.
I'm gonna listen to terrible sci-fi fantasy and paint toys.
Yeah, exactly. I'm done with this world.
Everybody betray me. I'm fed up with this world.
I'm just give me 2 solid years of or what did we say? Give me my last 20 years of just enjoying what I have, and I'll be done with it. I won't bother you. I swear. I'll try to leave a neutral carbon footprint, but I won't. But I'll try. But anyway, welcome to Game Classy, the worst podcast on the planet, gaming podcast on the planet.
Game Classy.
Who, despite the fact that we have not made a single lick of sense in the last 10 years we've recorded, we still have a loyal following of degenerates.
A passionate and enthusiastic fan base of friends and comrades.
Comrades. So let's talk about something that's infinitely related to gaming. The new season of Star Trek Picard.
I haven't started it yet. I've heard it's very good.
So I think on the podcast before I've said that I absolutely, because this podcast is about, I want to say 30% Trek, right?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, I mean, like I'll say we do about 30% Trek, 30% horror, or 30% genre stuff. And then then the rest is probably tangentially related to gaming, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Something about toys, board games, me turning a game's name into something related to feces, fecal matter, or flatulence.
Yeah. Can you do that with Warhammer, or is it just Pooh Hammer?
No, Pooh Hammer.
Pooh
Pooh Hammer is pretty funny. It's Pooh Hammer.
Because you think of a hammer smashing poo and the poo going all over the place, kind of like something.
Oh man, Gallagher spreading E. coli.
I was just gonna say, just like
across-
Gallagher.
Yeah,
God rest his soul.
all across California.
Hey, Steve, Gallagher, R.I.P.
R.I.P. Gallagher.
Actually, he's kind of a piece of shit in real life, so let's not do that. Or he was a piece of shit because now he's dead.
Wait, which one? Because weren't there like 2 or 3
There's
Gallaghers?
2 Gallaghers. There's Gallagher 1 and Gallagher 2. Gallagher 1 is the OG and he's dead. Because Gallagher 2 is he wasn't allowed to tour anymore because Gallagher sued him. Because Gallagher 1 sued him. It's Gallagher's brother.
I see.
I know, it was always weird.
That is pretty weird.
Yeah. I mean, I always find that weird, like I have siblings and I would never intentionally fuck over a sibling for something like that. At least I've never been put in that situation. But I'd like to think that I wouldn't, like, well, you got a thing going. Why am I going to try and fuck you over and try and make a buck?
I don't know. It's also dumb because it's not like okay, it's not like they're taking your business because you're doing a show in Chicago. So how can you also be doing a show in Los Angeles? So let them do the show in Los Angeles because who cares? You've already got your show.
Yeah, but I mean, then you could hypothetically go to Los Angeles and then people would be like, why would I see this Gallagher? I saw the other Gallagher. And they wouldn't know the difference.
They're saying they're both Gallagher. So like you'd probably just sell your show out again, as long as you're sufficiently popular.
That's true. As long as you're sufficiently popular. And Gallagher was like the top touring person for 12 years.
Right. I say a very ridiculous amount of time.
Until he was replaced by the super racist puppet man, Jeff Dunham. Anyway.
The racist puppet man.
You don't know the thing. I like Jeff Dunham. Have you ever seen anything by Jeff Dunham? You probably haven't.
That's the guy with the
racist puppets.
Yes. The skeleton in the turban. Yes.
Yeah,
I'm aware of him.
All incredibly racist, and that's like one of those great like signifiers of a racist family member when they talk about watching the new Jeff Dunham special and how funny it is.
I see.
So when you hear that, you know that your family member is racist. Anyway, back to Picard.
Yes.
To what I was saying earlier. Picard, the new season came out. I have gone on record saying the first 2 seasons of Picard were terrible. The first season in particular was pretty egregious, and the second season got even worse. Did you watch the first 2 seasons?
I did.
And what did you think?
I thought the first season was like very unbalanced because there were some episodes that I really liked, and then there were some episodes that I absolutely hated. So I'd say overall, I ended up on the dislike side of season 1. Season 2 was weird. Season 2, I think, went to deeper depths of shit but higher heights of goodness. I really liked the last episode. I felt they kind of stuck the landing. So that gave me some hope to maybe just have an actually just good all the way through season 3.
Yeah, I'm not saying you're stupid for what you're saying. I overall I just think that when you got a pound of ice cream and a pound of shit, you mix it together, you got 2 pounds of shit. So that's just my way of looking at it.
Yeah, but sometimes you really want that like taste of shit hinting in your ice cream.
I mean, it wouldn't have been bad if it was like a normal Star Trek TV show. Like what I'm saying normal, I'm saying like old school where you got 24 episodes for a season. So if you got 12 really good episodes and 12 mediocre to bad episodes, it mixes it's better because you're like, those 12 episodes are fucking fantastic.
Right.
But when you have only like 10 or however many 10 episodes and like 5 of them, it's not quite as good because you have to it's that limiting. When you're limiting, you can't filter out the bad episodes.
It's true.
Yeah. But the first 2 episodes of Picard of the 3rd season have been okay. I'm relatively okay with them.
Right. I look forward to that.
I think Riker it's always good to have a Riker with Picard. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Like you can't have, and I think that's part of the reason why
can't have Kirk without Spock.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think I ever really noticed it before because, Next Gen is kind of an ensemble show, but when Picard is with Riker, they play off each other really well.
It's true.
Also, I think, and I know this is blasphemy to say, but Patrick Stewart's too old to be on TV right now. I feel. Are you okay there?
Yeah, I'm good. Huh.
I'm watching it and I'm like, oh, this poor man, just let him sit in his corner and paint his toys. Don't make him go on TV anymore. He's so old, and they film around him. Like I'm watching it, I'm filming, and I'm seeing him being filmed around. Like he can't move that fast. He can't, don't make him move. He's gonna break something. The man's like 90. Yeah, if they had done Picard like 10 years ago, it would probably be a little easier on the eyes, but this is bad. He's really old, and this makes me sad.
Pain.
Yes, exactly. That's how I'm feeling about it. I'm just glad there's more Trek on TV though. My wife got really mad at me yesterday because we were sitting down to watch our TV, and she's like, let's put on Party Down, which they have a new season of. And I was
Party Down.
It Party Down. It's a workplace comedy. It's on Stars.
Oh.
It's really funny. It's just like, this is like, once again, like Picard, a show that was over 15 years ago, and now they're putting out new episodes because of nostalgia. And there's no new ideas anymore.
It's true. Or it's just cheaper. It's just always cheaper to reuse an old idea.
Yes. So I'm sitting there like, no, we're watching Picard tonight. She's like, God damn it. You didn't like it, don't marry a Trekkie. That's what I have to say on that one. But anyway, so we got a slow news week. I haven't really heard anything.
What are you talking about? I've got some fresh news right here.
Oh, thank God, because I had nothing.
July 1995, Inquest, The Future of Gaming.
Oh,
That's
God.
right.
I loved Inquest.
Yeah, I've got the issue right here, fresh. Just to get everyone, there's that scent, that new magazine scent. And what do I open? The first page, a gigantic full page spread ad for Rage, the Werewolf, the Apocalypse collectible trading card game.
I played that game before.
It was a good game. It was pretty good. And then the very next page, Vampire: The Eternal Struggle, the other card game from Wizards of the Coast. Bam! Look at that.
Oh man, remember when the whole Darkness universe was like, the hot new thing?
Yeah, I remember.
It was literally. I don't know if it ever.
D&D.
Really...
That's for lameoids. We're playing sexy hot vampires.
Did that game? Was World of Darkness ever like that like that top tier popular game?
It really was.
I'm just wondering in terms of like sales.
Yeah, no, that boom. So it didn't last very long, but that like 2 to 3 year boom was ridiculous. Like the amount of people who picked up the specifically Vampire the Masquerade, the first book. That book is like, I would say rivals the Player's Handbook for 3.0.
Oh,
yeah, the game was just absolutely like just a smash hit.
I know it was super popular at the time, and I think a lot of people like probably picked it up because they heard buzz about it.
Mhm.
It was everywhere at the time.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. I mean, there was even a fucking Fox TV show.
Was there?
Yeah, it was called Kindred the Embraced.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that show. I was
Yeah.
gonna say, was it a vampire one or was it a werewolf one?
It was a World of Darkness one because there was they were hinting at there was going to be rumbling with the werewolves because there was the dude from the clan Grendel, which is like the closer to werewolf vampire clan. He was like
Mm.
he was beefing with some other dude, and they're just like it's like all those if you
Is
knew
that
anything about World
was
of Darkness, you're
beefing
like, oh, werewolf.
is beefing a euphemism for butt stuff?
No,
Oh,
I'm sorry. uh
is that like is that your big news? Your hot news is from Inquest.
Yeah, I just grabbed this issue 1995 Inquest, just looking at the fucking most hilarious shit, like the casting the Magic the Gathering movie. Oh, Madonna. So although all movies with Madonna in them suck, we've got faith that the Material Girl could play the fallen angel to a T.
What are they talking about? Madonna had like Material Girl was a great movie. Wait, was it Material Girl? Oh, I can't remember the name of it now. But I also liked her in she was good in Evita. Yeah, 1997's Evita.
Hasran Ogress, though it's not what you'd call a plum roll. Cheers, Carla, aka Rhea Perlman, would make a perfect Hassan Ogress.
I really like the thing is that that's how people wrote in the 90s, and I absolutely hate going back and reading anything written in the 1990s.
Here's another good one. One of the most useful cards in multiplayer Magic comes to life courtesy of Nicolas Cage, whom you recall from his roles in Honeymoon in Vegas and Moonstruck. Nick Cage as the background character from Siphon Soul.
That's before his Academy Award-winning turn in Leaving Las Vegas.
That's right.
And the rise and fall and rise and fall and rise and fall of Nicolas Cage, to the point where now we just assume that his career is a sinusoidal curve.
The next article, money for nothing. Can Magic cards replace U.S. currency?
I've said that before.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned that on this podcast before. Maybe I read it in Inquest at some point.
That's right.
Where did you get this from? Did you like find it like in your?
It's just I had I was just mucking around, and so someone said, "Hey, I uploaded a scan of this Inquest issue." And I was like, "Oh," so I just grabbed it. I was like, "Oh man, I'm gonna read this in the podcast."
That's the one thing. Like, I have my old White Dwarfs. I could go back to like the 90s White Dwarfs and take a look at those. And I every once in a while, if I go to like a used bookstore or something, and I see they have old issues of Dragon magazine, I may pick those up for cheap. But yeah, I don't. I try not. I try to stay away from magazine collecting. Is a dark hole.
It's true. It's a deep and dark hole.
Yeah,
never be able to escape.
Yeah, actually, so I do have some news. Remember how we were talking about Shitter Point?
Yes.
I said Shitter Point to keep you from saying Shitter Point, and I'm sorry for that.
I'm just happy that I heard it. So
yes. So they released a little bit of the army building. I know they've been releasing more about the game. But I thought the army building was interesting because it's kind of what we said it was. How it works is you pick a character, and that character lets you bring certain number of points to their warband. So you pick Ahsoka Tano, and she's worth like 8 points, and so you build your warband around those 8 points. And how that works is each like non-character who leads the warband is worth a certain number of points. So Captain Rex is worth 1 point. And you know, the clone troopers are like 2 points because you get 3 of them with like a single card. So that's 4 of your points right there. And that's how that works. So I mean, it's an interesting concept. And so I guess you would say I'm gonna play a 20-point game, and so you'd bring 3 characters that would equal 20 points, and then you bring all their sub characters that go with it.
I won't play that game unless I can bring RoboCop.
RoboCop lets you bring 0 points because RoboCop is a full 10 points.
That's right.
Dead or alive, you're coming with me.
God, that movie fucking rules.
It does. It truly does.
He's so fucking good. Bitches leave.
Tarantino was telling a story about no, was it Tarantino? No, God, it was someone who was telling a story about how they were at a news conference thing. I think it was Tarantino was saying this, and Paul Verhoeven was there, and a couple other directors, and they were having to defend violence in the media. And the one guy was like, "Well, the violence symbolizes blah 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 blah," and Paul Verhoeven was like, "My movies are violent because I like the violence."
That's fucking awesome.
Yes, 'cause it's good. It's funny. I like to watch it. I don't know how to really do. I think Verhoeven's Dutch. I don't want to do a Dutch accent,
Man,
unless I do
awesome.
the only Dutch accent I could probably do is Tom Hanks's Dutch accent from the new Elvis movie. It is talking. I'm a big fan.
You
I
sounded
don't know
like
why I sound like
you sounded like Peter Lorre.
sound like Peter Lorre.
Yeah, you sounded like Peter Lorre.
Help me, Rick! You got to help me. Because of course the only Peter Lorre movie I could think of at this point is Casablanca. But yeah, it seems like an interesting little system. I'll do a demo over at Adepticon because that's when they're gonna do the demo and probably have the boxes for sale. So I'll see how it looks out and I'll give a review on the cast.
Right on.
I'm not gonna play it. I might paint some figures to sell them to stupid Star Wars fans because they deserve to be ripped off with my shitty paint jobs.
Take that, Star Wars fans.
Take that. You gotta watch Andor. Well, why? Because it's so grim and gritty.
Your Andoring is and boring.
Blandoring.
Ooh,
I'm not a. Why would I want to watch a grim and gritty Star Wars movie? Like I like that they run around with light swords and with laser swords and hit each other. That's what I want to see. Oh well, then you want to watch these movies because they're jumping around. No, that's too silly. I don't want to watch that.
It's the Goldilocks theory.
Yeah, it's got to be just right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
This is too silly. This is not silly enough.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's the assholes who are always running around saying stuff like, "Oh man, I really wish they did a Saving Private Ryan style movie with stormtroopers." I don't.
Yeah, why would you want that? That's really weird, actually.
Yeah, you want to see stormtroopers getting like blowed up with like their blood and guts hanging out? Well, yes, I would like that because they essentially are space Nazis. But even still, it's like I would rather just see a bunch of rebels like joshing each other and grab ass and running around, having adventures. That's what I want to see.
I'd rather see two super ancient Jedi having a sweet sword fight, all like "Wachoo, wachoo, wachoo."
Like New Hope style or Return of the Jedi style.
Return of the Jedi style.
Exactly. No one likes the New Hope one, even though it's really true. What's
Fencing?
that? What's not fencing, but what's that? The Kendo.
Oh, Kendo, yes.
Yeah. From what I've been told, it's like that's how actual like fencing and Kendo is, but I don't know.
Yeah, Kendo's like you're just trying to whack the other guy one time like as a clean hit. So like sometimes the matches do look like that. They're kind of weird.
Yeah. I'm sure if anyone knew Kendo, it would be you.
Yeah. That's a good assumption.
Do you ever watch sumo fights?
I do. I love sumo.
It's pretty interesting. But since I learned that those matches can be rigged, and it's a very like a fixed sport, it kind of takes something away from it. But I think it still is fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I just like the concept of like two fat guys trying to push each other out of a ring. It's a very simple concept.
It's pretty great, and the best is when you see like the epic feats of strength, and or when you see the size mismatch feats of strength, which is great when there's like the smaller guy lifts up and throws the bigger guy. That's always like totally gets me like hyped.
I love the strongman competition stuff. And just because I'm like, wow, look at that guy go.
Yeah, exactly.
Good for him.
Yeah. Like, wow, look what this guy can do.
He can lift something real heavy.
He can pull a wheelbarrow with his balls.
Well, no, not necessarily that, but I think I like the simplicity of it. Like when you're watching baseball and you're just like, so the whole thing on whether or not this guy is good is whether he can hit this ball with this stick. Mm-hmm. And he could run faster than the rest. Like it's a whole combination of things that I'm just like, it's too complicated. I don't need this. But when you watch a strongman competition, you're like, this man can lift this ball and walk with it. I'm like, right. I get that. I understand that. It's very
man lift heavy thing.
Yeah, man lift heavy thing. Yeah.
Man lift heavier thing, another man lift heavy thing, bigger man lift heavier thing winning.
Like there's a great even comparison in the fact of like, oh, this man can lift this rock. This
Mhm.
man can't lift this rock. This man is obviously better than this man.
Yes. It is the simplest thing to understand.
It's like the I think I would appreciate the old the old Greek Olympics. Like if I ever traveled back in time and didn't die of some like weird disease,
Yeah.
I think I would like see like the Greek Olympics, actual Greek Olympics, and mainly because I wouldn't have to wear pants. I think that would be the biggest draw of going back in time to the Greek era.
Mm.
You could just walk with your balls hanging out and no one's gonna say shit to you.
Yeah, you could. Or you could do toga, balls hanging out, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, they would probably think of me as some sort of ghost because of how white I am.
It's true. Cursed by the gods.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be cursed by the gods, or maybe I'd be a demigod. But they would
Either or.
definitely, they would not be. Well, actually, since I'm 6 foot tall, they would probably think of me as some sort of giant. I'd probably be the subject of some myth.
It's fair.
They're like, no human could possibly be that tall.
No one could be this large.
No one could be this large. Are you kidding me? But yes, I would like
then
that.
They see a single Samoan and then just die.
They die, they explode.
Yeah, they see a single Samoan person and they just explode.
But yeah, that's why I'd like it, because it's very simple competition. It's like, oh, this man throws this ball farther. Yay! And it's not even like, because nowadays they have all the training and everything like that, where if you're going to do shot put, you've done shot put your entire life.
Mhm.
And now that you are 16, you're going to throw the shot put for the furthest you're ever going to throw it, and this is your one chance.
Yes.
But back then they would have like some like random dude out from the peanut gallery come in, and he's like, this is Testicles. He is he is 12 years old, which is middle age, and he's going to throw this ball as far as he can. This is his first time ever throwing anything. And then they're like, he threw it 20 cubits. This is the furthest anyone has ever thrown this ball. So there you go. And I'd be like, hey, more power to him, as I'm eating, a bowl of cheese, like feta that they would just have.
It's true, just warm feta, just slopped
like
into a bowl
warm
for you.
feta. Like you could still smell the goat on it.
Oof.
There's literally a guy milking the goat as we speak. God, that's when men could be men.
Yes. I actually saw a very humorous men are becoming too effeminate timeline thing, and it definitely goes back to Socrates' time.
So great.
Yeah, it's very funny.
Oh God. I the problem is, all civilizations started going downhill when they started making us wear pants. That's what I'm saying.
But in Socrates' time, no one was wearing pants, and he was already saying civilization was going downhill.
Hey, well, exactly, because they made him cover up. Socrates believed that man should just be naked all the time, which I would agree with if everyone lived in a nice Mediterranean climate, but we all don't. So
it's true.
If I lived in the Mediterranean climate, I would probably be nude all the time. just sitting next to my walking outside butt naked, working in my garden, and my neighbor Vincenzo's like, "Hey, Joe, why don't you cover up?"
as his whammer is just like flopping around in the breeze.
Hi, Vincenzo. Nice to see you.
Hey, look at me sausage.
I can see you're gnocchi. So let's go to actual gaming stuff. I'm sorry. I've just this morning with the fucking stupid Zoom thing has ruined my brain.
Oh yes.
So D&D's got a new supplement coming out for the keys from the Golden Vault.
Yes.
I think this is another one of those like adventures, like a compilation where you got a couple of different adventures in one book.
Yeah,
this one looks like
it's all heists.
Yeah, they're all heists, which I think is a cool idea.
Mm-hmm.
I actually, now that
sweet.
I kind of didn't like how 5th edition was combining all of these different types of adventures together. I'm like, why can't they just do smaller supplements? Like, make it like a $10 little book, and then you could get, whatever adventure. But now that we're midway through, we're at the end of 5th edition, I like the way that they did it.
Mm-hmm.
So you have like your mysteries book, your heist book, your
Your spooky stories book.
Your spooky stories book. You have that. You could just pull from it when you want to, and I appreciate that. What I'm kind of wondering is when are they going to do the turnover from 5th to 6th? When is that happening?
Don't know.
Because if I was a 5th edition player, I would be like, do I want to buy these books even though we know that the new edition is coming out? But that's also it's weird because would 5th edition players do that, or would they just be like, we're going to stick out with 5th edition till the very end, and then once we hit 6th edition, I'm going to sell all my 5th edition books?
Yeah, who knows? They did stress that the 5th edition stuff's going to be compatible with the new edition. So
that's what they always say, but it's not always true. They will say that just to placate you, and then like 3 months into 6th edition are like, none of these 5th edition books are playable. And then you have to go to some fan made page where they say like, this is how you could convert the 5th edition books to 6th edition. And
they could always just power creep it where they release the 6th edition player's handbook. And it's, it still exists with the other player's handbook, but the 6th edition player's handbook just has, the better fighter class and the better rogue class.
Do you want a hot take?
Ready.
All right. I think 5th edition is going to be super collectible, and it's going to be about 3 years out into 6th edition that all of a sudden all the 5th edition books are going to be worth a ton of money for a brief period of time. And you want to know why? Because I think 6th edition is going to fail hard.
Think so?
I think that you know all the shit that's been coming out from Wizards about all of the open gaming license and all this stuff about how they want to make more money off of D&D. We're gonna monetize every little facet of this game.
Yes.
I think that's what 6th edition is going to be. You're going to see a lot of it be unaccessible material that you have to access online and that you have to pay for.
Microtransaction City.
So when players and DMs get tired and they're like, this is not the game I want to play, they're going to go back to 5th edition. So everybody who dumped their 5th edition books to go to 6th edition is going to want to go back and buy their 5th edition books. So the 5th edition books for a brief period of time, for probably a couple months, are going to be worth buco bucks. Does that make sense?
Yes, I get what you're saying. The en masse moves will create big spikes in the price.
So it's exactly like what happened with 3rd edition when 4th edition dropped. So 4th edition got super popular. Everybody dumped the 3rd edition books. And then when they found out 4th edition was not their cup of tea, they went back to 3rd and 2nd. Actually, I don't think they even went back to 2nd. 2nd edition didn't start getting really popular until the pandemic.
Yeah, I'd say so. That's about right.
That's when all that collectible shit went up in value because no one had anything to do with their stimulus checks except spend it on stupid shit.
Mm-hmm.
And not that I disagree with that, but yeah, Keys from the Golden Vault looks interesting. I look forward to seeing it. I just picked up the at a used bookstore for $15. I got the Dragon book, the one that has the 2 books combined.
Yeah,
I never had that one before, and I've been going through it. It's pretty interesting. I really want to start running D&D campaigns. I want to do like a in-person one and probably a Zoom one or whatever. Online one. I'm thinking like I want to do an online one where I could just like randomly roll through shitty modules and just go through module stuff with people. And I want to do like an in-person one that's really fucking cool with minis and everything like that, where it's like tough shit. You don't want to be here, but this is going to be all the cool shit. There'll be snacks. There's going to be fucking sodas. There're going to be minis
and pie. We're going to punch and
pie. A whole table of shit. There's going to be sound effects. I'm going to do the whole shebang.
Crackers. There's going to be crackers and cheese. You better believe it.
Yeah. Mountain Dew. We're going to play for like 6 hours once a month. And that's what we're going to do.
Nice.
So anyway, yeah. So the new D&D book. Did you see Blood Bowl 3 got released?
I did. Game? Yeah, people are hyped about it.
I was gonna say, like, I've never seen this amount of hype for a Blood Bowl game.
I mean, apparently the other one, like it's been building up because I guess the first one was good and then the second one was even better. So now there's like the third one will be the penultimate.
Is this the penultimate or the ultimate?
No, I believe this will be the penultimate, and then the next one will be the ultimate.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I was like looking at it. I was like, oh, I never even knew that there was Blood Bowl video games. I knew there was Blood Bowl video games, but I didn't know they were anything super popular.
Yeah, they're perfect. They're perfect Blood Bowl clones. Like they're actually the game Blood Bowl.
Yeah, I'm hoping that Blood Bowl becomes like Madden, where it's just like every year it's the same fucking game. It's just like different player characters. So you'll have like your, like 16 different dwarfs that are updated every year. They're exact same dwarf, but you have to buy a new version of Blood Bowl just so you can get play the new dwarf.
No. That was Olaf Jorgensen. This is Olaf Bjorgensen.
This is Olaf Jorgensen, and this is Jorgen Olafsson.
Yes, perfect.
Yes. So that's but I was looking at it, I was like, oh, this is interesting. I don't know if I'd ever play it, but whatever. I like just playing Blood Bowl on the board. Like, I don't know if I want to play video game style.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never done, much of either, so I would probably just play Total War instead.
Yeah, you're playing. How's your campaign going?
We're gonna start in 2 weeks.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Are you playing as the ogres?
No, I'm gonna play as there's a corpse cart guy. He's not a vampire count, he's a necromancer lord.
Oh, but
And
he's with the vampire counts.
Yes, yeah. He's a vampire counts guy, and he's got a corpse cart. His faction's called the Caravan of the Blue Rose, and I guess they're wanderers that just create little zombie towns as they go along. So that's who I'm gonna play as, I think.
Are you and all the other players playing as vampire counts, or is it can you pick different things and play against?
You can pick different things, and you form alliances in the game.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And they finally teased the Chaos Dwarves.
Yes, they did. There's gonna be some big hats.
Hats are not big enough. I'm
Oh,
sorry,
yeah.
but the redux of the Chaos Dwarves do not have big enough hats.
You haven't seen their lords yet. The only way you can determine if their hats are actually big enough or not is when you see their lord level units.
Because the lords need to have the biggest hats.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way that Chaos Dwarf hierarchy works.
Right. Yeah, it's just like the Packlids. Oh, we must listen to this Packlid. He has biggest hat.
Exactly. I hate the Packlids. Anyway,
The Packlid planet.
The Packlids and lower decks are make it funny, but I hated the Packlids, and I can't even explain why I hated it. I have my reasons, but I can't really explain it on anything that can be recorded. Anything being recorded.
So I guess in other news, there's the Magic the Gathering set for Lord of the Rings. That was the big announcement.
Well, what about the new Lord of the Rings or movie series?
Oh, there's a new movie series as well?
Yeah, let's end it here. I'm going to start it up again and we could talk about it.
Oh, shit.
All right, so new Lord of the Rings.
Recording in progress.
New Lord of the Rings TV show. New Lord of the Rings movies. There was an announcement that whatever Sony or whoever owns Lord of the Rings is working on, like Warner Brothers maybe. Who knows? They're working on new Lord of the Rings movies and everyone's losing their shit because they can't handle change.
Well, regardless of change, what movies are they gonna do?
No idea, but it doesn't matter. Like those Lord of the Rings movies, like they came out 25 years ago.
I want more Lord of the Rings movies.
I want more Lord of the Rings movies too. But as I'm saying, it was 25 years ago, people. Like, you gotta let it go. Those movies, they're still gonna be there.
Yeah, I mean, what's the problem? I want more. I want more Lord of the Rings movies. That's what I want.
But my legacy. What
it
legacy?
still exists.
Yeah, your legacy is that you own them on DVD. You own the first extended editions that released 25 years ago on DVD.
You saw them on VHS.
Yeah, that's not your legacy.
I had them on VHS.
Yeah, I never had them on VHS. I always ran out and bought the extended edition DVDs because I had to watch all of the fucking behind the scenes.
Yes. I definitely got they were like my first purchases when I upgraded from the VHS to the DVD player for sure.
Yeah. I loved absolutely. Because I was in college at that time, so there was a lot of like just sitting around drinking heavily watching the Lord of the Rings behind the scenes material.
Nice.
Yeah.
These clothes are a damn menace.
Oh God. No wonder why I never had a girlfriend in college. I kid, I had several, but it's kind of true. It was like in college was mostly the memory I have of college the most is watching The Lord of the Rings, Stargate, and Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Oh man,
Like-
Stargate.
You got to watch all the Stargates. You
I
got
really
to
like the one with Kurt Russell.
No, you got to watch the TV show. It's better than the Kurt Russell one. Which is
Tell
actually
me
funny.
MacGyver is better than Kurt Russell?
Yes.
Wow.
Almost everybody who watches SG1 agrees it's like the Stargate movie, just not good.
Uh,
You know, and it's one of those things that you just got to watch it. And then you'll understand. You're like, oh, this mythology that they build on this TV show is a bajillion times better than anything that they have in this movie. And you
I
would love
see.
it too, because it's all about Egypt-aboos in there.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Speaking
it's all
the
about like
language.
Egyptian mythology. At least the first few seasons are all about like Egyptian myth and the Egyptian gods and all of that stuff. Then it starts getting a little bit, it's spreading out a little bit more. But yeah. So I highly recommend SG1. And I think SG1 is streaming right now on Amazon, but I don't think Stargate Atlantis is streaming anywhere. When I work out in the morning, I would run while watching Stargate SG1. And just recently I had to switch over because I finished up the show and I was going to watch Stargate Atlantis, but I couldn't find it streaming anywhere. So I just started watching Supernatural because I need a show that's paced relatively well for running.
Right.
And most of the shows that I like don't have that amount of action and adventure that I need while running to keep the heart rate up.
Mm.
So yes, but Lord of the Rings, they're working on some new shows, and of course people are losing their shit. But Lord of the Rings CCG,
Yo, not a Lord of the Rings CCG. Lord of the Rings Magic the Gathering.
is this the one with the Aragorn who's black
Yes.
and people are losing their mind about that? My
Yes.
legacy.
Yes. Yeah, they did the full announcement. They showed all the different products coming out. There's going to be a special starter set just for this Lord of the Rings set. The bundles, set boosters, collector boosters, draft boosters, all the usual suspects are there. But there's also going to be a serialized ring card in the collector boosters, which could end up being quite a pricey collectible.
It's serialized. What does that mean?
So it has a serial number.
It's a serial number.
Yeah, so they're
So
gonna, it's gonna be a number out of a number. So it could be 1 of 1, could be 1 of 10, things like that.
Oh, so there's only going to be like 10 of them?
Yes, there could be only 10.
We don't know how many,
20.
but you don't know how many there's going to be.
You don't until people start opening them to see the serial number. We don't know.
Maybe someone out there will have the one ring.
Yes, someone out there will have the one ring.
Yes, I could see that being a collectible, a very highly collectible thing.
Yeah, so
Mainly because it's two factions that are very obsessive, and that's Magic fans and Lord of the Rings fans.
right. Yeah, so you're gonna get a dude who really is into both to the max, who's gonna buy that card for a unreasonable sum, a king's ransom.
I really wish Lord of the Rings had come out now or when I was 40 so that I could afford more of the collectibles of when it came out actually in the 2000s, because then I was poor. But
Yes.
now that I have income that I can spend on stupid shit, I really would like to buy a Narsil or a Glamdring, but I don't want to pay the prices because they're all out of print now. So,
Or an Underil, Flame of the West,
Underil,
reforged from
Flame
the
of the
shards of Narsil.
I would like to have, helmets from Gondor or shit like that. But I can't afford it now because it's way too goddamn expensive
Right.
because they're all out of print.
Yeah, that half person size Witch King of Angmar, very cool. I don't want to drop the $13,000 on it or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I could make my own. I have 3D printers that I could make these things, but it's not the same. Like, you want the United Cutlery Narsil, you want that. You want the weight. You want that metal. You want to be that guy who's twisting around and saying, "Ooh, nice balance," even though you're holding a sword from a replica. You're holding a sword replica from a movie. You child.
Yeah, and you're making whoosh 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 noises when you're moving.
I'm gonna kill myself an orc.
Yeah, and you're making whoosh whoosh noises. So
yeah,
I'm down.
Oh, so that sounds like fun. I mean, I'm not gonna play Magic. So I actually was thinking about, I kind of wanted to I wanted to see if I could find old boxes of the Warhammer Horus Heresy trading card game.
Oh
And
man.
I was looking, I can't find them anywhere for a decent price. They're all super expensive.
Yeah. It's gonna be
And I
pricey.
was surprised by that. I thought, man, these would probably be cheap because no one wants them. But no, they're expensive.
Never underestimate the power of the Horus Heresy.
Yeah. And I also was looking for the old Warcry card game. Remember that one for the fantasy one?
Yes, yes, I do.
Was that game any good? You would know more than anyone.
Yeah, it was.
It was,
It was actually.
it was.
Yeah, it
the
was.
I have no desire for 40K, but I would do either the Horus Heresy one or the Warcry one. If I just had like a bunch of those cards, I'd probably end up playing it.
Yeah, Warcry was actually really good. Because there was the other card game, the living card game version, which I did not think was that great. I thought Warcry was far superior.
Yeah, and the artwork on those games were fantastic.
Oh yeah, it's super great. Yeah,
I just remember that, like, just being like, "Damn, these are sweet."
Yeah. And the game, I don't know how to explain it more. The game just actually kind of felt more like Warhammer Fantasy somehow, even though it was a card game. Because like when you would attack, you'd like commit your units, and they would just like I don't know, just the way the combat resolved felt like rank and file troops were fighting. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I remember liking the look and the feel of the game, but I'm just not a card game guy. So recently on the interwebs, the new meme is explaining card game rules. Have you seen this?
I have not.
Thank you for yawning on the cast, by the way. It's always wonderful.
No problem.
Because the people listening are like, man, if the hosts can't be entertained by their own shenanigans,
I can't be entertained by my own shenanigans. I'm not shenanigans enough.
you're not shenanigans enough. The sorry, I got confused by yelling at you now.
Yes.
Oh, card games. Explaining the card game rules. Yeah, it's like if you watch Family Guy, there was a recent one where they're like, where Lois is trying to explain the rules for euchre, and everyone is just like staring at each other, like, my God, this is the stupidest thing in the world. And then Peter his brains out, and he goes to hell, and in hell, the devil is explaining the rules to euchre.
What the fuck? That sounds awesome.
But I mean, like, you could replace that with explanation of any card game rules, and I am there with you. I find most family card games to be miserable experiences.
That's funny.
Like like I just remember was playing poker with people, and they play for like a $20 buy-in pot. Like they are playing for like $1,000 buy-in pot. And I'm just like
it's the Casino Royale and they're James Bond, and if they lose this card game, they're gonna get killed.
exactly, like they're La Sharif. They're gonna like and I'm just like, I can't do this. This is for a $20 pot. Why are we playing like this?
Are you gonna stab me?
Exactly. Is like the Russian gonna come out the back and break my thumbs? And I think it just comes from playing Warhammer and tabletop games and board games, which are so beer and pretzely that you don't care if you lose most of the time. But you play to win, but you don't care if you lose.
Right.
And it's just like, I don't think, and that's why most normal people, like normies, don't play board games or tabletop games, because they play too intense. It's like, no, you could lose this game and it's fine.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
You pick it up and you play again,
bro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're not playing for anything except bragging rights.
You can ride the chutes again.
You can
climb
ride
the ladders
chutes,
once more.
the dizzying heights and lowest of lows.
Yes.
Shoots and ladders. It's like,
Shoots and
did you
ladders.
never play the game of life as a child? Maybe Perfection or Operation?
Well, I
You know,
mean,
like-
I think life was the best one because life was like, if you stopped to think about life for like any moment, you'd realize you weren't actually playing a game. It was just completely random.
Yes.
And it's like, oh wait, it is the game of life.
Yeah. And it really raised the expectations of how your life would actually turn out.
Sometimes
I mean,
didn't turn out very good at all.
I never became an amusement park owner. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I never was able to own a jelly bean factory.
Anyway, okay. Other news, the War Games Illustrated is doing another 10mm game or 12mm game. They're doing Pike and Shot, so you can finally play the English Civil War game that you've always wanted to play.
You know what I'm gonna say?
What?
Pike and shit.
But
Got him! Got him!
I think I just wanted to, I mentioned this because of your love of War Master.
Yes.
And every time I see these games, I'm just like, they're doing the War Master that we want, but they're doing it with figures that I would never want to paint in my life.
Yes.
I do like that. So they done this one. They did American Civil War and Napoleonics, but it's like maybe I would play this if they did Ancients. Like, would you do it if they had like a plastic or like Roman army and like a plastic Celt army to play against that were that small?
Maybe. I don't know. It's hard to say.
That's
They'd have
like
to look really
it's getting
cool.
close, right? It's getting like.
Yeah, it's
But
getting
what if they
close.
had like an ancient Egyptian army versus like an ancient Persian army?
That I'd probably do.
That what you would do?
Yeah. A Persian versus Egyptian, I'd definitely do that actually, because I'm a Parisianaboo as well as an Egyptaboo.
Egyptaboo.
Yeah.
What if they did the Greeks like Alexander the Great? Aren't you related to Alexander the Great some way?
Probably. I mean,
Not directly. He didn't have any kids.
yeah, no, probably.
So you could but you are of that Greek stock, so I don't know
Yeah,
what
I
part of
mean-
Greece your family's from.
I'm not exaggerating. My great grandfather's name was Heracles. So, like
Not
legit.
Testicles.
No, like legit, his name was fucking Heracles. So, yeah,
I knew someone whose grandfather was named Dionysus.
that's pretty sweet.
I know. I was like, damn, that's a hot name to have. To be able to like legit pull off a Dionysus.
Yeah, I mean, I think Heracles is pretty impressive too.
Oh yes, for sure. Yeah, but it's like Dionysus makes you sound like you're like a pimp in the 1970s.
That's true. Oh, and you appreciate this
Dionysus
fact.
Jones.
This
What?
is a very local fact that you'll get and probably no one else will. But Heracles used to run the Drake Hotel in Chicago.
The Drake,
The Drake. Yep.
as in the movie that's from Tom Cruise's hit Risky Business.
Yes, the one and the same.
I went to a prom once at the Drake, so that's my only thing I've ever been at the Drake for.
Well, there you go. But yeah, no, my great grandfather used to run the place, so
Yeah.
kind of cool.
I think my mom owns like a what is it, an ashtray from the Drake.
Mm-hmm. I
But
used to
yeah.
have a T-shirt for it from there, but
So all of our international listeners can look up one hotel in Chicago right on the riverfront,
yes.
where I think you
There's
get a
some-
great view of Trump Tower nowadays.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. But yes, pike and shot. I as I say, yes, I don't know who wants to play the English Civil War, but I think that if they do an Ancients version with like they'll probably do Rome. They'll do Rome and the Celts. I think I might buy that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, ancient Egyptian would probably get me, at least looking into it as well.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll go that far back. The only reason why they would do that, but I think that would be like a third tier, like they would have to do. You'll see the American Revolutionary War. You'll see, the Crimean War, and then then you might see like Egyptians, which is sorry to say, but you can actually buy metal stripped Egyptian 10 millimeters from
Oh, for sure.
oh, what's that? Not Blue Moon. Oh, why can't I think of it? They have the big bags of historical minis that you could buy that are poorly sculpted. Shit. Anyway, it's a company but they do the strip size for the 10 millimeter, not like the individual ones. So like the old War Master style. Actually, I think I have some of their Egyptians.
Is it
if
the
you'd like them.
Magister? Is it the Magister Militum?
No. They're bigger.
Old Glory.
Old Glory. There you go. Old Glory, the company everyone always forgets about, but eventually ends up going to because they're the only ones who make that specific type of figure that you need for your army.
Yes. Yeah. They have biblical chariot wars, late Rome and her enemies. Yeah.
Every once in a while, when I'm trolling through old bins of historical minis at weird conventions, I will find a bag of something Old Glory where I'm like, this is the greatest figure. These are the greatest figures of all time. I must have them. I think one of them I got was it's like a frenzied peasant mob, and it's this massive one. And that actually reminds me because on our Discord, they someone posted something about the old Mordheim frenzied mob, which were some of the worst sculpted figures ever. However,
These
those
are a
sculpted
must-have.
yeah, those figures are actually directly I think the same sculptor did the frenzied mob for Old Glory. So
Nice.
it's like if you want them, you could just buy a big bag of them for like a tenth of the price.
I sent you the picture on Facebook, but I'm gonna slap this in the Discord right now because it just cracked me up.
Oh yeah, exactly. Those are those 25s or are those
10 millimeters?
Oh yeah, those are 10 mils. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably about the decent as you're going to get on 10 mil for the Egyptians.
Yeah, you get 30
In
figures,
metal.
2 command, 1 horn, 1 standard, 1 drum pose, 5 spear and weapon poses.
There you go. I will I think I have an Egyptian army in 10 millimeter. So you could have it if you want, Steve.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I
don't know if I have chariots for it though. I do have I believe I have a 10 or 12 millimeter Assyrian army, I want to say, with the big donkey chariots, because I like the big donkey chariots.
Mm.
Or are they cows? I don't remember, but they're the big old box chariots. Those are always fun.
Yes.
But yeah, so maybe someday they'll do the Ancients version where we could be like, this is as close to actual War Masters we're ever gonna get.
Yeah.
But it's I do every once in a while I look at it and I'm just like, I really want to play one of these games, but I just don't want to play any of these eras that they have.
The War Master updated version, that fan edition, is supposedly great. So I mean, you got it there. It's like it is like because they finished what the first revision of War Master started. So
Yeah.
the game is just much better.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, I've heard nothing but good things from them. And I remember that link I sent that guy who's like, I'm gonna do a print run of these hardcover rule books. He had to shut it down because there was like so many requests for it.
Yes, so many people were like, I want it. He was just like, I didn't realize it would be so popular. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Because I think that there's like they have, I think, some sort of like tentative agreement with Games Workshop that they're not allowed to do that, but like only so much or something. I remember reading about it somewhere. And
they can do limited print runs up to a certain number.
Yeah, something like that. And because Games Workshop still technically owns the rule set, but I don't really know. Like how long? I wonder how long that copyright lasts on the. Well, at least the name War Master is definitely there. So
I think it's Creative Commons at this point for the rules. The rules would be Creative Commons, and the name would be, they could make them take down the name, but they could change the name, or they could argue that their name is different enough already because it's not War Master, it's War Master Reimagined or whatever. They have
Revolutions,
like Revolutions. Yes, they could argue that they're copyrologically distinct from one another.
And you can't really trademark the name War Master because that's like an actual thing, right? I don't know. Maybe you can.
There's a that one would, I don't know, that would probably come down to like an actual like attorney who could answer that one.
Maybe it's like you could use the name War Master for other things, but you can't use the name War Master for a miniatures game.
Yeah, that's like that's a weird category because I don't know, because like you can't. I know there's like you're not allowed to, generally not allowed to legally copyright public words, essentially.
Public words.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, you can't like copyright the word tent.
But you wouldn't copyright it. You trademark it.
Yeah, you can't trademark. You can't trademark the word tent. Like,
yeah.
You can't do that. Like it's tent. Like that's just a word. You can't just like slap a trademark on it.
You know what's kind of wonderful about the tabletop community is the fact that through through playing tabletop games, I've learned more about like rights and trademarks and copyrights than I probably ever would have learned in my life.
That's true.
But everyone is a lawyer apparently who plays these games, so I learned so much about it.
There's a lot of lawyers who play board games.
And you would think that would be like, I don't want to play this game. It has rules. I want anarchy because I'm a lawyer in real life, which is all about rules. I want to have some sort of like anarchy. So I'm going to go play paintball.
No, they're always refining their skills.
Or I'm going to go play Naruto because that's probably anarchy.
The Naruto run.
the Naruto card game. So
oh, yes.
Why are there so many guns here? But anyway, last thing I wanted to talk about before we go is the Chaosium has started a live play for their games. It's called Bookshops of Arkham. Have you seen this?
I have not.
It's actually a very, very well produced real play.
No shit.
They call it an actual play. I don't know if it is real play trademarked. Let's ask our
Oh, I
audience
see. It's on.
lawyers.
It's on YouTube.
Yes, it's on YouTube. It's free to watch. I think there's 2 episodes at this point. I started watching the first episode and I liked where it started. So it's very hammy, which I like about it. It's very much like what's it called? Critical Role. So I'm not like they definitely take their cues from Critical Role. So it's like Critical Role, but for art for Call of Cthulhu.
So it's gonna be a little cringe.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be cringe. Anytime someone is doing anything on YouTube, it's cringe. Speaking of which, like, comment, subscribe on our YouTube channel.
Yes, please like, comment, subscribe. Our YouTube video subscriber audience needs to grow. Thank you.
Yes, where else am I going to talk about my love of the 1980 movie Caligula? Yes.
I love the money pit. That is my response.
The money pit. Speaking of, so yeah, I would recommend it. It could get terrible or racist, and I don't know because it is Call of Cthulhu. So
it's true.
One thing I did want to talk about, I wanted to talk about before we leave, this is not gaming related, is someone was talking about that movie with Ewan McGregor, like The Pillow Book or whatever it was called.
Oh yeah, I said it's a deep fake AI that they made up to mess with me.
Yes, this is on our Discord channel. But he said Joe could probably explain the director, like, and he's kind of wrong, but I only know Paul Greenaway from the movie he did in the early 90s. It was like The Woman, The Thief, The Cook, and The Lover. I think that was what its name was. It's something like that. It's a very weird independent movie that devolves into cannibalism, and I was okay with it. I was like, this is not a very good movie, so I don't really care too much. But that's like the only movie of his I know. And I only really know about it because it's one of those movies that people really talked about for 10 years after it was out. Like, it was some revolutionary movie, like independent cinema done correctly. And I'm like, meh, whatever. It's fine. I'm not gonna run around talking about it. So that's all I can tell on that one. So if you thought I would be able to explain it, the answer is no. No, I cannot explain Paul Greenaway.
Very good.
Yes. And also I did want to mention someone was asking about where the Gold Digger stuff comes from. Gold Digger was all the Gold Digger stuff was because of 3 guys who used to come into the Chicagoland bunker.
Yes.
It was Damocles, Googly, and Furry, right?
Yes. Those were the 3. The triumvirate.
Yeah, they were all furries, but only one of them consistently wore furry shirts.
Yes, Sabrina Online shirts.
Yes. And then there was the other guy. He would occasionally wear a Gold Digger shirt, and
yes,
he would always talk about how he met what's his face, the Fred Perry, is that his name?
Yes, Fred Perry,
the guy who would draw Gold Digger. And it's actually really funny because when at the same used bookstore, I actually found a Gold Digger omnibus, and they wanted a fuck ton of money from it. And I was like, because that was back before like people really knew what furries were. It was pre-internet age, so it's like furries were like one of those things in the background that you didn't really know existed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they were like the 3 worst customers I ever had to deal with. and that's not true because there were worse customers, but they were definitely as a group the bottom of the batch.
Yeah, well,
individually maybe not as much, but as a group they definitely were.
They did get banned for the that's not how it goes incident.
Yeah, well, that just Googly got banned, and the other 2 were like, okay, and they all kind of left together.
Yes.
Yeah, they were just, it was like they're just the people at the game store that make other people not want to come to the game store.
Yes, the uncomfortable vibes are to the max.
Exactly. And it's just like, I don't want to talk to you. And I just want to say that, but I'm also too nice to say that to people. Like they're the people, like there's I've been to game stores where it's like there's this person who's there every fucking day because it's the only people that will talk to them because they have to talk to them because they're getting paid. So just keep that in mind.
Right. They're stuck there because they're being paid to be stuck there.
They're stuck there because they're getting paid to be stuck there. Yeah, they're definitely the bottom of the barrel, and they luckily got banned, but they created many stories for us for years and years and years.
So, including not much for an Eldar army, but it'll do.
Yes, yeah. He wore a Peter Pan hat, or was it a Robin Hood hat?
It was a Peter Pan hat.
It was a Peter Pan hat he would
yeah.
wear.
Yeah, and that was because his super perfect ultimate Omega 10 out of 10 or no 10 out of 5 unbeatable Eldar list was not complete yet, so he just had to use whatever quote unquote Eldar figures he had lying around and said, he cobbled them together and then hit with the iconic not much for an Eldar army, but it'll do.
It'll do.
Yes.
And I did want to throw out Captain Rufus on our Facebook page, on our Discord, has been posting reviews about Xenos Rampant, and it actually has made me research the game a little bit more. It might be what I'm looking for in terms of a sci-fi game, but we'll see. Because what I'm really looking for is I want a generic sci-fi bolt action is essentially what I want. I want guard on guard rules, or a game that can have it so that I can play guard on guard.
I thought you were going to do Stargrave.
But Stargrave doesn't. My problem with Stargrave is the same problem I have with Frostgrave, where you're not really having like a pitched battle. You're just having two warbands run and scramble to find the treasure and then get off the table.
I see.
So it's like I appreciate it, but it's not like I'm not having like several units of infantry and some tanks going up against several units of infantry and some tanks.
Got it.
That's what I'm looking for, like bolt action, but with sci-fi. So there's lasers. So
you are looking for the mid-sized skirmish game.
Not a skirmish game so much, but like a small scale army game. How about that?
Yeah. Okay.
Something that could scale to what I would consider a platoon-sized army game.
So 1,000 points.
Yeah, about 1,000 points, but but feels better at 1,000 points because I don't think 40K in any form up in like maybe second and third edition the game could play at that level, but anything after that, the game did not play at that scale. You had to play at least 2K.
1,000 points. 1,000 points was actually pretty great in third edition. That was the last edition I remember being very good in.
But I think once you got to like fourth edition, you couldn't play unless you were playing 1,800.
Yeah, it was rough below that.
Yeah, so that's what I'm generally looking for on that one. Is there anything else before we gotta head out?
No, I don't think so.
I think we covered everything.
Yeah.
So you could go to our Facebook page, which is the Game Classy Facebook, and where you can find a link to our Discord, which is where we're most active lately. So if you really want to engage with us, send us stupid shit and everything like that, that's where I would recommend starting to post. Do you think James is actually on the Discord?
Oh, most certainly.
Yeah, we just don't know who he is on there.
Oh, I know who he is.
Oh, you know who he is.
Okay. I know his secret identity.
Yeah, I don't know any of like anybody who used to interact with us with all of their names on there. I don't know who is who. So I could be talking to someone that I've talked to for years and years and years and just don't know that they're on the Discord under whatever name. So keep that in mind. Yeah, it's growing. Every time we post, we get like at least a dozen more people on there, which is nice. There are dozens of us, Steve. Dozens of us.
There are dozens of us.
And I will still maintain that every Next Generation movie is a terrible movie. And if you post about it on our Star Trek sub Discord, I will tell you you're stupid for posting about Insurrection because it's a terrible movie.
Everyone loves it, Joe. You're outnumbered once again.
Yeah, it's like, well, it's just
like Barclay. Everyone loves Barclay except for you.
Barclay is the worst.
Like I said, everyone loves Barclay except for you.
It's because everyone associates with Barclay, and it's just like
Barclay rules.
It's like no, because you know what? I've worked with people like him before, and I don't care if he is a fucking genius. I would rather deal with an idiot who's likable than a super genius who is just socially incompetent.
Yeah, but you could throw him a beatdown.
I could no, I don't want to throw him a beatdown. I just don't want to deal with them. I'd rather deal with someone who's competent both socially and in their job.
And you request a transfer.
Yeah, well, yeah, I would, so I wouldn't have to deal with Barclay anymore. I'm okay with that. That's why he's awful, because he reminds me of every horrible person I've ever had to work with and or put up with. Anywho, yes, the Discord is the best way to do that, and we'll put that up there. You could also see my stuff up on the Instagram. I'm at Game Classy Joe. I just put up my Thunderhawk that I did. I finished that in 2 weekends, and I will never do that again. Never ever. My office looked like a tornado had gone through it because you can't. It's so hard to paint something that big. If I ever did anything like that again, I'm painting it in smaller pieces. I'm not painting anything that big again.
Yeah,
it was ridiculous.
I can see that. Yeah.
And also, I probably should have gone back and reprinted a couple pieces of it because some of it I just like. I'm looking at if you look at the picture, you're like, wow, that looks great. But if you go up individual or close, or if you were part of like the process of it, you're like, oh, that came out horrible. That's just terrible. But whatever.
It was just where it took some melta damage.
Yeah. However, I have a full Thunderhawk that's painted, and it looks accurate because you know what? Getting a Forge World Thunderhawk is not going to be much better than printing your own because it's going to be warped to shit, and you're going to have to spend a lot of time putting that thing together.
That is what I've heard.
You know what I've never had to do? I never have to wash resin. God, remember that? Worst. So
washing resin sucked.
You could also go to our YouTube page, like, comment, subscribe on the YouTubes, like, comment, subscribe on the iTunes. All right. So, Steve, until next time.
My child, you have come to me, my son. For who now is your father if it is not me? I am the wellspring from which you flow. When I am gone, you will have never been. What would your world be without me, my son?
Is it from Castlevania?
It's from Conan the Barbarian, Thulsa Doom. Dun, 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 dun.
Game Classy.